we're here at Content Madness with the second podcast of the day. We're here joined by Sabri, Sean.
Yep, and this is season 1, episode 2.
Yeah.
So we're chilling here at La Cava Coffee. Sabri, you're in the real estate business,
right?
And you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do? And
yeah. So in regards to real estate, I've been licensed I'm in year 6 now. Licensed in Delaware and Pennsylvania. Working with buyers and sellers in this crazy market, as you all know. But yeah, I love what I do. Love helping people make home ownership a reality and helping them sell and build equity and things like that. So yeah,
cool.
pretty straightforward in that regard.
Yeah. How'd you kind of come into? I feel like real estate. Everyone's kind of got a funny story of like how you got into the business
right.
and how you got started. Like why real estate?
Right.
Like how'd you come about it?
So coming from like a background, March Madness, right? So I used to play basketball, played at the college level, tried to play pro a little bit, and that transition, just trying to figure out what's next. I got a government job out in Maryland, and it was good money and things of that nature, but I just knew it wasn't what I wanted to do forever. I just was like, I feel like I didn't really have a purpose. Started getting into fitness, started being a fitness trainer, helping people, and I knew I liked to help people reach their goals in fitness in that time, but it just kind of wasn't a quick time. I kind of wanted to make some more money, just to take care of my responsibilities and things like that. So I have a family friend who's like a really big realtor in Delaware, and I was like, I'm going to try this out. Took the class, had my first client, and it was just like, hey, let's go for this. And then, it was cool.
Let's get going.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you mentioned you're a basketball guy. You play basketball. Yeah. How do you think those, the skills you learned and the lessons you learned playing basketball, how's that translate?
Definitely, having to work hard and be dedicated to something. I think in this business, you have to be on it. Like our schedules aren't like 9 to 5 and things like that. You have to work on the weekends and have to have some type of routine. So I think the discipline that I gained in basketball translated really good into real estate. When it comes to following up with clients and going the extra effort to help them out. And then the team aspect of it, whether it's the lender, attorney, title company, being able to seamlessly work with other people, I think basketball gave me a good, foundation for that, and the competitiveness for sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, all that. Like teamwork is big. Like working with other people, I feel like that one's huge. Like consistency. I feel like some people get in like a rut and they kind of can't figure out their schedule. I feel like a lot of people in our industry I see them. So that probably helps a lot too.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing in this thing. Like, because it's an emotional roller coaster, up and down. Business can be booming and slow, things that are out of our control. But I think if we, win the morning, we can win the day, no matter what challenges, because we know it's always some type of fire we may have to put out. So
True.
But yeah.
Speaking of the morning, do you have are you like a morning routine guy? Do you have a routine?
Yeah, I have to. Just because you might be showing homes in the evening and things like that. So I like to wake up early, get a nice workout in, whether it's going to the gym or a run that morning, depending on whatever I have scheduled. Get a nice stretch in. I like to go on YouTube. They have like these good yoga videos just to get your mind right, a little relaxation. Eat a nice, breakfast to get me, going. And it kind of fuels me for, when I start my calls in the morning. So, yeah. And I feel like when I don't do it, it's like I'm off. It's like I'm trying to catch up with my day.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, when you're in that routine, like if you miss like one of the parts of the routine, like the workout or something, you probably feel like it's something's off and you're missing.
It's like
that makes sense.
You're chasing the day down, trying to get it back. Yeah. So.
100%.
Yep.
Where did you play basketball? And like, did you what position were you and stuff like that? Because I know we're in the March Madness right now. The games are about to go on. This is only episode 2, so we're early. Yeah. But the games are about to start playing. I'm sure you got the itch to kind of get back out there. So, we want to tell us a little bit about basketball career or something like that?
Yeah. So basketball career. I started playing basketball in middle school. Originally from Philly, but we moved to Delaware in middle school time frame. Played on some AAU teams out in Delaware. Wasn't that good at first, so I had to really start from the bottom. And 8th grade I started getting a little bit better. And then I went to a school called Sanford in Delaware. Really good school when it comes to sports, specifically basketball. We went on a nice run. We won 3 out of 4 state championships when I was there. So we went my senior year and unfortunately lost, but it was tough. Yeah, we were trying to four-peat. I lost to a bunch of my friends though, so it was like I was upset, but I was kind of happy for them at the same time. Then from there, I went down to Louisiana to Northwestern State University, like a small D1 school.
Cool.
Yeah, I went there, played for 4 years, and did pretty well there. Transitioned, tried to go pro a little bit. Like, had a couple contracts. They were real short. The overseas life just wasn't really for me.
Sure.
And then I started working from there. But definitely love March Madness. Always gets like you remember like stuff starts popping up and things like that, like memories on my phone, and just like it's always a great time of the year.
Yeah, it's always fun. Like, just, even if you played it at all, you know, you kind of get the juices going, or you're really into the basketball in general.
Yeah.
What so you lived in Louisiana for like what 4 years?
Yeah. Yep.
You wanted to come back here? You want to stay down there? Did you like it down there?
I did like it down there. It was a small town, so my school was basically like that was what the town brought in the revenue and things like that. Like really small town. It was like the most historic town in Louisiana. It's called Natchitoches, Louisiana. So yeah, I didn't want to stay there, but it's a great place. The South is way different than up north. I came back home, like, you know, the Southern hospitality, like when you're there, like it kind of, I don't think I was a mean person before, but it just kind of elevated when I went there. So I come back home and I'm waving at people like, what you doing, dude? Like, so, yeah, so that was a cool transition, but I definitely love to go back and visit and things like that, but yeah, I couldn't. Probably not at this point in life. I like to a little bit more speed.
I got you.
Yeah.
You mentioned playing overseas a little bit too. Like, how does that process even work?
So it's very, like, at that time, I don't know, I'm, like, far removed from it now, but it's, like, very political. I signed an agent at that time, and he helped me get a couple contracts. I had a few secured, but at that time, the country I was trying to go to, you only can have a certain amount of American players. I had a contract, and then they ended up going with, at my position, they ended up keeping one of the foreign guys, and they wanted a bigger guy from America, so just didn't really work out. But I have friends that are still playing over there, doing really well. Once you get I think it's the hardest part is getting your foot in the door. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like basketball and the money and everything's kind of like overseas now. All these NBA guys, it's like all the top guys are overseas guys, so the money is definitely there now. Whereas 10 years ago, it probably wasn't the same. Kind of thing going on.
Yeah, it's kind of dope to see like just even like what the college guys can do, like the NIL deals and things like that, because. Like, even though I was on scholarship, like, you don't really see the benefits of, like, even though you're the one bringing in the money for the school. It's kind of like a catch-22 because I feel like it's harder probably to coach guys that are making more than the coaches. So
it has to be.
Just imagine, like, you make, like, who you talking to? But yeah, it's good, though, that the guys can, benefit, at a younger age for their name and likeness.
Yeah, it's definitely I feel like everyone has an opinion on it and how they feel. Some people are like, it's ruined. Do you feel like it's ruining the game at all with like the moving of everyone's kind of like, now I feel like my favorite team of the team I follow, it's like, oh, now everyone's in the transfer portal. They might be coming back, but it's like, I've been watching this guy for 2-3 years. He got invested, and now he's going to leave once he gets to senior year, especially like you played the small, like the mid-majors
and stuff.
Like, they get just, the guys get poached.
Yeah, I definitely think that aspect of it is kind of taken away from it. Like, I remember, like, when we were growing up and, like, looking forward to March Madness, like, you knew everybody's name, like Kemba Walker. Remember the UConn team? I don't feel like I can name, like, a lot of college players right now. Like, I know it's probably because we're busy and stuff, but I think I know more of the women's college basketball, which is great. I'm loving that they're getting more notoriety now. But, yeah, man, it's like at my school, do you remember the guy that went viral, with the one arm?
Yeah.
So he went to my school. He played there last year, and they went on a really good run, and they had a really good team. The coach ended up getting another job, and they all left. So now that team has to rebuild. So I definitely understand what you mean by that. But
that's crazy. It's crazy how that happens. But I guess it's just the nature of the sport. Like the coaches and the players all have to kind of adjust, and maybe some of these guys will realize that staying longer could be better for their career as this whole progresses. And I mean, we're still at the beginning. I mean, this just changed.
It's new.
Yeah. Who knows what the future is going to hold and how it's going to change the sport. But the worst part for me is not knowing the players. Like, that's why I'm not as invested. You know what I mean?
I didn't even do a bracket this year because I haven't. Like, I just don't know. I know the one guy from Kentucky, but they just lost. Didn't they just get knocked off? So
they just lost.
I don't know.
To Oakland. I was watching that. That was the one game I watched. I had Oakland.
You had that.
That was my big upset. I had them going pretty far. So it was like, and it was a late game, so I was able to watch it. You know?
Perfect.
But yeah, it's just, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same because I mean, I remember knowing, I knew like everybody.
Oh
yeah. Everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same teams coming back and the leaders and stuff like that. So it was crazy. But to kind of switch off that space,
we can talk all day on that.
that we can go for hours. The real estate side, I mean, the big topic right now is I know I'm going to ask the NAR settlement and this whole stuff. Yeah. I have a lot of opinions on it just from being on the lender end and seeing different things and hearing everybody talk about it. But I don't know. Do you have an opinion on it? How do you feel about it?
Yeah. To be honest, man, I've been tracking it since last year when I first heard about it. When I first heard about it last year, it kind of scared me a little bit, especially because, with CNN, the different headlines and things like that, they're clickbait, and I feel like they're a little bit irresponsible with the way they're putting it out, and just it's not telling the narrative the right way. Regardless of that, I can't control what's going to happen. I think we just have to, as an industry, step up our professionalism and basically deliver to our clients how we get paid a little bit better, because a lot of times on the buy side, they don't really understand it. So I think we just have to step up our professionalism and, show our value even more. Of course, it's not official yet, but it's a highly chance that it's going to go through. I think it's definitely going to shake up the industry. I've already been, when I'm calling, I got an objection last night on a listing call, like literally. So people are hearing about it, and it's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of confusion because of the headlines and the comments you may see, and people are like, oh yeah, realtors suck and things like that. So we just have to, survive and adapt and show our value even more now.
I couldn't agree. I think that was like the best way to put it, like the value propositions. I think it's going to knock out maybe some of the part-time people, some of the people that aren't giving as much value and aren't doing as much business, or can't communicate their value and how they get paid. And I think it is super confusing. Like if you go buy a house, you're like, do I have to pay? Like I get it on my end because, we get on the lending side, you get them kind of early on.
Right.
And they're like, do I hire a realtor? How do I get paid? And it's like, it's confusing. And people are so, so new to it that, learn this stuff in school. And the headlines are all going to be steering and miscommunicating. They're trying to get clickbait and views and stuff like that. So I think the educational part of that is going to be huge for the real estate space in general, of all the changes. And we don't even know some of the we have an idea, but some people are going to treat it differently. How do you feel about being on the listing and buy side? So I feel like the listing agents, in my opinion, have to really communicate well with the sellers and the buyer's agents to kind of work out a deal and be willing to work out a deal. Because if I'm a buyer's agent and I come and I want to work out a deal with you, you have to be understanding. You have to tee it up to, hey, this is what's going to happen, because I might not show that house if you're not willing to work with me.
Like we in our business, we do a lot of stuff before getting paid. Like there could be years. We have clients that get pre-approved that don't buy for a year or maybe two, just because of the nature of the inventory. So it's already tough for a buyer right now. I think they're going to have the biggest impact if sellers are like saying, I'm not paying a buyer agent. But like you said, it goes back to when I'm on that listing appointment, letting them know, hey, when I'm preparing the comps for the home, these comps are based on a 5% or 6% commission. If you don't want to pay it, okay, we may have to do an adjustment, just like we would do an adjustment for extra bedroom or bathroom and things like that, and letting them know, like, hey, if I think I saw a poll. I was listening to Tom Ferry's podcast. I think 83% of people would love to be represented by a buyer. Like they can't imagine going through the process without a buyer's agent. So those people, that's less people that could potentially come into your home. That's less value. That's less of a price that you can sell the home for. So I think showing that, and then also letting the buyers know up front, like, hey, most sellers will pay the commission, but if they're not, we have to negotiate something. But we still will advocate to maybe have them pay for it, because it's already expensive to buy a home. And at the end of the day, the buyers are bringing the value. If they don't buy the home, nobody's getting paid. So it's going to get shaken up a little bit, and it's a lot of like what ifs and things like that. And I don't know how it's going to be, or how agents are going to be able to, even if a seller's able to, because it's going to be taken out of the MLS. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think the best way to do for agents out there that are scared, start now. Don't wait. Start having these conversations now, and maybe just say, hey, have you heard about what's going on? Because it's coming soon, in a few months. So
everyone's kind of seeing something at least.
Get our scripts ready.
You gotta be on your game. I know I'm on the mortgage broker part of the business, which is different than banking, and it's more bankers. And back in the financial crisis, we got crushed in the broker end, and we got regulated with Dodd-Frank and all this stuff, and how we get compensated, and we got capped on what we got compensated. So I know in my industry, we've kind of seen the same way, and brokers got a bad name, and now it's all coming back, and the mortgage brokers like starting to take over and dominate. It's funny how it all, it's kind of very similar to cycle. People didn't know, do we use mortgage brokers anymore? Are they bad? Are they good? And now it's all kind of coming back, and you're seeing the cycle happen, and we've been regulated. So I think it's very similar. That's kind of what I saw for, and I feel for the realtors, for you guys, and because it's like all these headlines and stuff, and people are like, I don't have to spend that money, or I don't have to use a buyer's agent. But to a good buyer's agent, the value is just like tremendous. I mean, you couldn't put a dollar figure. I mean, I would pay so much money for a really, really good buyer's agent in this market to go out there with all the competition. Just imagine
a first-time home buyer like trying to navigate a transaction by themselves. You know what I mean? Or going in unrepresented, and now that they go straight to the listing agent because they can't afford our service. Okay, well, who's the listing agent representing? Yeah, there's dual agency, but how can you really represent both sides? That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. But I think it could create even more just like lawsuits in that regard. Just people need representation and they deserve it. You know what I mean? And like you said, I think there's going to be ways. I think you guys are going to come in, like lenders and brokers are going to find a way to help out and navigate this change. We were strategizing a couple different ideas, legal, trying to figure out, because we don't know the guidelines of how they're coming out too, but we're already on top of it as well, and kind of help everybody help each other out and to get through madness a little bit. I think March Madness, right? So I think the best thing to do right now for realtors out there that are like panicking, because you go in there, you see the comments, and the consumer who's out of the industry, they're bashing us and things like that, and people are like, you don't need a realtor on both sides. I'm seeing that. I think for all my fellow realtors out there, we're competitors, but at the same time, we're advocates for one another. Like, I don't want anyone to not be able to feed their family or give up, because this isn't the first change and it won't be the last. Quiet the headlines, get off of social media, and 10 toes down and get your head out the sand. You know what I mean? Like let's go and get innovative, get ahead of this. I think we'll get through it. It's going to be challenging, but what's not challenging? This business is already challenging, right? So if anybody's built for it, we are, right?
Who knows? Might be for the best too. Might end up working out. And I think to kind of wrap this up, personally, I want to see what you think about this. I think at the beginning, it's all going to be similar to what it is now, and the buyer's agent's just going to go to the listing agent, and they're going to negotiate and give out, and the listing agent's going to go to the seller and be like, hey, we got to give out 2% or 1% or whatever to the buyer's agent, because they kind of, otherwise they're not going to show the houses. You're going to lose out. You're not going to get your price. I think maybe after a couple years or months, it might change and transition, but I think at first everyone's going to kind of stick to the same, but you just can't show what on MLS. What they're going to be giving out. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I feel the same way, because even though it can't be on MLS, I was reading, and of course I'm not a lawyer, disclaimer, and things like that. Definitely do your own research. But listing agents can post it on their websites and things like that. So there's a lot of little like wrinkles and things that everybody don't know. Like, I don't know if anyone's read through the whole NAR lawsuit. I haven't. I did the Spark Notes and things like that. But man, I think it's going to be business as usual at first. And of course, even now, you have savvy buyers and sellers who do for sale by owner, and just like in a for sale by owner situation, we go in. If I'm representing a buyer, I go and negotiate and put in my contract to pay broker X amount. And I think the biggest thing for people to take away is commissions have been negotiable, and they will continue to be negotiable. Present your value, and you'll earn whatever commission you get.
It's been that. It's always been that. And I just said, I had a deal this year where we went to for sale by owner, but they had a buyer's agent. They gave out 2% or whatever, and it worked out. And they negotiated. So I think it's business as usual. Don't get too high or low on these type of things, and it sounds like you were ahead of it, and we need people advocating and leaders to be in the space that are gonna point everybody in the right direction, not panic.
Exactly.
Because this business is changing every day. So, but we had to get on that topic.
I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely, man.
I had to bring it up, and I know. So to kind of transition off that stuff now, talking about so you were from Philly, and then you moved to Delaware, and now you're still living in Delaware?
Yep. Now I live in Wilmington, Delaware.
Do you love Delaware? Is that your spot?
Yeah, I love Delaware just because it's it's kind of like a perfect balance. Like it's not too crazy. Like when I moved to Delaware, I moved to Newark, which was more like suburban, like slower pace and things like that. But now when I bought my first home, I bought it in Wilmington, and I'm in the city. It's a small city. I'm close to Philly, right by the PA line. A couple hour drive to New York, Baltimore, DC. So I feel like it's conveniently located. Of course, the property taxes and things like that. So I think it's for my lifestyle. It's just perfect. Yeah, kind of got like a cozy city living and not too much.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And then I guess just going off that, where do you see 5 years from now? Any goals you have for yourself or professionally, personally?
Yeah. So 5 years from now, I just started my own team, Thompson Realty Group. So I have an agent, I call him my team partner, Prince Walker. So helping him get started and building his real estate business. I would definitely love to onboard a few more agents and things like that, and kind of grow in the real estate business and keep advancing in that regard. And I eventually want to be speak to other agents. I used to speak to kids and things like that, when I was in college, and still now I go back and speak to kids. And I just want to, kind of be a leader in my community. Whatever, I don't know exactly what it looks like, but definitely want to be in the mentor space, within 5 years and things like that. And not to exploit anybody, but I feel like there's a lot of things I can give back, whether it's sports, fitness, or real estate. Because I'm kind of I don't know, you follow me, so you see I do a lot of the content with fit and professional, because that's kind of my brand. I have a activewear company, Fit and Professional, kind of tying my world together and showing that lifestyle, how your fitness life, not saying you have to be super athletic or things, but having some type of, activity in your life can fuel success in your professional life. So I kind of want to keep telling my story in that regard and getting creative and, talking to people and just, building that community so we all can be successful. I want to see everybody win.
Yeah, I love your ties to you're doing stuff in the community. I feel like I always see you working out, doing that kind of stuff. I see you doing stuff in the community, trying to build other people up, speaking, events and stuff which Matt and I definitely love.
Yeah,
we're definitely trying to do more of that stuff too. Okay. And just the real estate and wealth building. So I think it perfectly ties everything in there, and it's awesome. I mean, we need more people like you, to be quite honest, especially younger people that are willing to kind of do that, be advocates and role models, and to show people the right ways and
what's possible.
I think that's amazing. And also, I gotta say, man, Sabri is always the flyest looking guy. Whenever I'm on social, I'm like, geez, what is he gonna wear today? I know he's gonna be looking fresh. Always got the coolest suits and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I know he's gonna come out with some crazy stuff today. And of course,
I appreciate
looking fresh.
I feel like you gotta do something. When I first started doing socials, I was just okay. People are starting. I kind of was in before everyone was on video in our space. You'll see everybody on it now. We're transitioning, at least even some of the the OGs in the business, which I love. I'm glad everybody's on it. But now, okay, how am I going to stand out? How am I going to create my my blue ocean amongst the red? You know what I mean? Stand out amongst the competition. And I feel like the suits and things like that, and just creating creative reels, tying to fitness, running to my listing. Showing people, different. I feel like that's the way to build the brand. So I appreciate you saying that.
It's working. I have it all. I know from the brand building and do my own that I know what you're doing and I love it. I think you're super consistent, which is half the battle. Which you crush that part, and you're different. You do stand out from all those perspectives, and it's you. You could just tell from talking to you and going through this podcast and everything. It just makes sense. I
appreciate it,
and that's sweet.
Likewise, I reiterated back, we connected on social media, first time meeting in person, but, that energy, like you kind of attract it, and I can feel that in this room and things like that. So I'm definitely thankful to connect with you all, and I'm pretty sure this won't be the last time we do some collaborations, and
sweet.
let's just keep crushing it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
So we want to transition into a lightning round. We're just going to ask you a couple of questions, kind of get a quick response from you.
Okay, on the spot.
Yeah, on the spot.
And that's the point.
Yeah. So first question is, it's March Madness season. This event's called Content Madness. So who do you have winning it all this year?
Dang, like I told you earlier, I don't even know all the teams that are in it, but I'm just gonna say, let's say Duke for the guys, and I'll say South Carolina for the women.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I had Duke winning, and then I switched it to Arizona, but it's Arizona versus Duke, so I hear you on that.
Okay.
All right.
Who you got?
I have UConn.
UConn.
Yeah.
I love UConn. I went to their camp when I was growing
really?
up. Yeah. When Kimber Walker and all of them were playing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was dope.
Wow. So we're at La Cava. We're in the coffee shop. So are you a coffee person? What's your go-to coffee?
I'm not really a coffee drinker, so I don't even know all the names and things. Like when I go to Starbucks, I'm like, which one is the medium? Like because they got the different names. So I'm not really a coffee drinker, so I guess I would say like something with espresso to give me some energy. Yeah,
true.
That
makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. And what was your first job?
My first job, Rita's Water Ice.
Rita's. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Love Rita's.
Yeah, man.
They just opened back up.
Hey, perfect timing.
Last week or something. One fun, just like a fun fact about you that other people might not know. Something different. You may have seen it like in my earlier content, like I was on TikTok and stuff. I love to dance. Yeah, I really love to dance. I've always wanted to be like Chris Brown was one of my favorite like people, so I always wanted to do that. And then when Usher was on the Super Bowl and stuff like that, so big dancer and just love to have fun. Yeah. So I love the Usher and the dancing, like the Super Bowl stuff. That's dope.
Sweet. And what is one book you would recommend to somebody watching this right now?
The Compound Effect. Yeah, nice. See the Compound Effect. Yeah.
I know you mentioned TikTok. I know you're on Instagram, all the other social apps. What's your favorite social app? If you had to pick one, like, hey, this is one I recommend diving into, and this is my favorite one. Just to put out content and to absorb content.
I would say Instagram is definitely my favorite one, but I think in our business, you definitely want to maximize Facebook. They're connected. You can kind of just like schedule your post to go to everywhere. So Instagram, but don't sleep on the other ones. So, if you're out there, just put it on all the different sites and things like that.
People forget about Facebook.
People always.
I kind of
Facebook Reels.
Facebook,
it's untapped. Really.
Listen, like to be honest, like for like my business and things, because I get a lot of organic referrals on there. Like I get them mostly from Facebook because I feel like that demographic of people are more so buying and things like that. And I think Instagram will come later on. I still do get leads from that, but everything like and then also LinkedIn is a hidden gem. Like there's a lot of like low hanging fruit there as well. So
I agree. I'm a big LinkedIn guy.
Yeah.
Love that.
All right, and then next one would be, what does a perfect day look like for you?
A perfect day for me would be like a Friday. I wake up, get a nice workout in, and hopefully I got like 5 closings. And then go out that night, have a nice dinner with friends or family.
Perfect.
It sounds like a great day, right? On a Friday, right?
It is a Friday. You can still make that happen.
Yep.
And then, what is your favorite type of cuisine? You had to pick
I'm a big Mexican food guy. I love. There's this place on Union Street in Wilmington. Dang, what's the place? I forgot the name already. El Toro. They have like some of the best tacos. So I love Mexican food. So that would be my first choice.
And what was the first thing you grab in the morning when you wake up?
Phone. It should change. I started putting it in my vanity. So hopefully, but yeah, I'm kind of addicted to the phone, of course.
Who isn't?
Right.
It's hard. The third hand or second brain, right?
Yeah.
And I know we've gone over a bunch of different of your hobbies. What would you say is your favorite?
Yeah, probably still playing basketball or working out. Yeah.
Still basketball.
Basketball, love it, man.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for the lightning round. If anybody wants to find you on social or anything like that, where's the best place to?
Yep. So on social, you can find me at 302 Breeze, 302 for Delaware. 302 Breeze on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, Sabri Thompson, LinkedIn, Sabri Thompson, YouTube, 302 Breeze or Sabri Thompson. So,
Very nice.
Dude, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you guys joining. Let me join you all today. I said joining me like I was hosting. No, thanks again. This was awesome, man, and love what you guys are doing with the creativity and keep up the great work and definitely, man.
Yeah, man, we can't wait to see what else you got in store.
Yeah, man.
On social and everything too, and see you keep growing and taking over Delaware.
Hey, sounds like a plan. Speak it into existence. Yep.
Awesome. All right, man.
Thanks. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
That was fun.
All right, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Absolutely.